This is sighting in against fire types. Obviously you can play certain cards that are generic, like Macrocosmo, Dimensional Fissure, Skill Drain, stuff like that, of course. You can prevent special summons with Fossil Dyna. If his monsters are 14 or lower and he summons a lot, obviously you could Tiger King him. Obviously you use the barriers to keep him from special summoning a lot of fire types. You can use other stuff that restricts summoning, of course, like summon limit and whatnot. But you know, there are some monsters that benefit from fire types. You know, like Elemensaurus gets 500 while there's a fire type on the field, so that comes in handy. So he's a 4-star 2000. Should be able to poke some things down with that. Plus, it's a dinosaur, so obviously this would be good in a like a dino deck, like Dino Raptor or something like that. That we have a 2000 to poke around, and then you could potentially summon another dinosaur, make Logia, so forth and so forth. You know, for for dragon players, Element Dragon, he also gets 500 for fire types on the field. So again, another 4-star 2000 because you're going up against fire types, and it's a dragon. It's light. You know, it's good in Chaos Dragons and any other deck that uses light types, dragons. If you're running fairies like agents and whatnot, obviously Element Valkyrie is pretty good. She gets 500 for battling fire types. You know, she's a 4-star. She's light. She's a fairy, so that's good. Really good monster for going up against fire attribute decks. There's Ultimate Baseball Kid because he gains 1,000 for every fire type face up on the field, except for himself. But the thing you want is if your opponent has two monsters on the two fire types on the field, you summon this bad boy. He's a 3-star 2500. You'll be able to poke a couple things left and right. I recommend stuff like safe zoning him, Mist Body, you know, something to keep it alive, keep it on the field a little bit longer. Plus, it's not bad in general because you can call a Haunted, Monster Reborn, Limit Reverse it onto the field, and I'll get a power boost. Especially if he has 2 or more monsters. That's the beauty. Is like he prevents them from just swarming. If they summon a whole bunch of monsters, he gets really strong. So if they have 5 monsters on their side of the field, which are fire type attribute, he'll be 5,500. They're not running him over. They're gonna have to book him. They're gonna have to like put him face down, switch him to defense mode or like enemy controller or something. They're not gonna run over him because the more fires, the stronger he gets. Now, unless you create a single fire monster with like extreme amount of attack, which can get over him, you know, he's pretty good. He's my main card for going up against fires, especially when the fire structure that comes out with the Flame Star Kings or whatever they are card. Obviously, Ultimate Baseball Kid would be great to side against them, but also be good, not so bad to use with them. He's a warrior, so you can search him with Rhoda and whatnot. You know, there's a lot of warrior support. Even if he gets beaten somehow, you can always warrior returning alive him to your hands, summon him. He'll be strong again. He's just good in general. It's like, you know, I'm surprised they didn't make any more monsters of this nature. But he's not bad in the deck, in the fire deck, because he's like a cancel. You know, send a fire monster other than him to the graveyard and inflict 500 points of damage. So, you know, you could use that to burn somebody. I had a cute little trick where I use him. I have a high level monster, like not high level monster. I have a trap Metal Reflect Slime. Since he's 10 stars, level eat while I have DNA Transplant. So that way level eater will become a fire type when he comes on the field. Since Ultimate Baseball Kid sends and not tributes a fire monster on your side of the field, you can send level eater, because level eater won't let you tribute unless it's for the tribute summon, which is why you can't just whore him with like Cannon Soldier or Catapult Turtle or anything like that. But you can use them with Ultimate Baseball Kid if you use DNA Transplant. So right there you can deal a lot of damage, especially if you combine it with something to add extra. If you add a Dark Room of Nightmare, add Dark Room of Nightmare, it gives you a 300 boost to the damage you're doing, so then you're dealing 800. And if you can do Level Eater's effect 10 times, that's an OTK. If you use 2 Metal Reflect Slimes, obviously you'll be able to do it 10 times, because you level eat Metal Reflect Slime 5 times, then anyway, you could level him 6 times. You can level, because you can make you can make Metal Reflect Slime 4-star, because that's as far as you can go. You could just make him a 4-star, which ain't bad, because then with the 2 Metal Reflect Slimes, your point's still alive. You can just exceed some into something, like a Gun Cowboy, as they call him, Gaga Cowboy, and then deal him the final 800, which with Dark Room deal 300 more, so that's 1100. So that's a little over 1,000 extra damage. You can just throw at your opponent if your opponent's still alive for some reason. This was actually from another thing, so let me take that out. You actually need the one that grabs fire attribute. Obviously you need the one that grabs fire attribute. I think there is one. If not, then there is not. I think there is. Let's see, where is it? So many things. Yeah, there she is. Fire Charmer. So that's the one supposed to be. Obviously, flip. Target face up fire monster. Take control of it while this card is face up on the field. You can set it, playbook attire you, flip it up. Or if you're able to exceed summon into a Photon Operative, flip, take your opponent's fire monster, derp them. If the monster is a 3-star, you can overlay with her. Let's see. The good thing is you can use her and use something like Wabaku or something to keep her on the field alive long enough that she'll flip. Boom. If the monster is fire and is weak, is less than her 1500 defense, boom. If you play stuff to power up her defense, that's also another good thing. Like, of course, the Sanctuary will give her 500 boost, so she should be a 2000 defender, so it'd be harder for certain things to get over that, like Thunder King and stuff like that. Flip. If they have a fire monster, you take that fire monster and you have control of it, and then you can exceed with it potentially if it's a 3-star. If it's not a 3-star, let's say it's a 4-star fire, you can star changer it, make it 3, and then exceed and make Zen Main or Leviar or any rank 3 that you want to play with. And there's tons of generic cards you can use. Obviously, there's no point in mentioning every possible generic card you can use against a fire attribute deck. This is just some ideas, mainly the Fire Charmer, Ultimate Baseball Kid, the Valkyrie, the Element Dragon, and the Element Saurus. These are like the main stuff to look into. You might want to try them out. They're not bad if you, especially Element Saurus is good in a Dino deck when you try to make Logia and whatnot in the meta. And also, if you go up against an Earth type deck like Gadgets, like Machina Fortress or Geargias, it has the ability to negate effect monsters' effects that this card destroys. So that's not bad. You can destroy things and negate their effects because you destroyed them. You just gotta give them a power boost or something, which ain't that hard. There are cards to get power boost. And he's a dark type, so he works pretty good since you can use dark attribute cards to power him up. Plus he's 1500. You can always dark erupt him back to your hand and then resummon him and use him against a fire deck or even an earth deck. And Element Dragon is good against any wind deck in case you go up against a wind attribute deck. Then you got Element Valkyrie is good if you're going up against a water deck, because you don't have to worry about them mind controlling her or creature swapping. So they pretty much just gotta kill her. There's no point. As long as they have water monsters, they can't take her. Obviously, you could, to get these effects to go off and to get these effects specifically, you can make it. You could add DNA transplant into your deck or into your side. So when you side these in, side in the traps. That way you have control of the attributes. So that way the attributes are the way you want them to be. So that way they're not taking full advantage of their water attributes. Like for example, you can use DNA transplant to their water, the mermaids and whatnot, and the Atlanteans, because they require water attribute monsters, and most of their effects, they'll pitch, do something like an MST or monster, a card destroy a card in the field effects only apply when they're discarded for a water attribute monster. So you can side in DNA transplant and just mess all that up. In case you don't know what DNA transplant looks like, that's obviously DNA transplant. Declare one monster attribute, and all face-up monsters become the attribute. It goes good if you combine it. If you go up against a water deck, you side in Ultimate Baseball Kit and you use DNA transplant. Now pick fire. So now when you drop in all these water monsters, they become fire, and now hero kits getting pumped up. So that right there is a 2-card combo where you'll have the advantage. Then you can add Safe Zone, for example, or something to keep Baseball Kit on the field, and then you can just start destroying his monsters left and right. And that is the fire side. Stuff to side in against fire type attributes.